Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. We're going to talk about this article from Variety Magazine. Take-Two Interactive reveals the sale of Tales of the Shire, developer private division, in its latest earnings. CEO looks forward to more sensible FTC under Trump. Wow, this is big news, man. That's the day after the election was called for Trump that this happened. Let's cue up the music and let's read this together. Alright, so Take-Two Interactive has sold its Tales of the Shire developer private division. The video game publisher revealed the deal in its fiscal 2025 second quarter earnings result Wednesday, though it did not disclose the buyer or the sum of the sale. Now, I don't know if you guys saw anything about this game, but go look up the freaking the trailer. This looks like the gayest game you ever saw with hobbits in it. And that's saying a lot. I mean, it's really bad. This is going to be worse than Gollum's game from last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. It's going to be worse than that. At least that tried desperately to be a game. It just sucked. This looks like a woke nightmare of epic proportions with like black hobbits dancing around and prancing around the Shire doing stupid stuff. Like, I don't know, man. This is what happens when you get these female development teams. Now, I've been hard on women in the past, and I will say not all women developers are bad, but I would say most of them are these days. Most of them are these weird, soft activists that can't take any kind of criticism or anything like that. They just want to make these weird fantasy-type games. And what's worse than them is these trans activists that are working in the business that can't take any kind of criticism whatsoever. They'll come at you and attack you and then just shut their accounts down on social media so you can't fight back. You know, it's amazing what's going on these days. Utterly amazing. But anyway, again, off target there. We recently made the strategic decision to sell our private division label so we could focus our resources on growing our core businesses for the long term. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick tells Variety, so as part of that transaction, the buyer purchased substantially all of Private Division's existing and unreleased titles. However, Take-Two continues to support No Rest for the Wicked, which launched in April on early access. Importantly, we're grateful to the contributions that the Private Division team made to Take-Two, and we're confident that they'll continue to achieve success. While Take-Two has gone another earnings cycle without narrowing the release window for Grand Theft Auto 6 down from fall 2025 to a specific date, Zelnick notes that it will not cross paths with the release of Borderlands 4, which is set to be out between April 1st, 2025 and March 31st, 2026. That's a pretty big window there, but that's, fiscal year there. I think it's safe to say we wouldn't and no one would stack up huge releases unnecessarily, Zelnick said. I gotta be honest, I'm a little worried about both of those games from stuff I've heard. I think it was the director of Grand Theft Auto 6 was saying that he's glad that he won't be releasing that game in Trump's America when Trump lost that last election, before this one that just happened. And now here we are. We have Trump's America again. What's he going to say now? And what's that say about the game? Is it garbage? Is it full of woke nonsense? If it is, are they trying to pull some of that out now, seeing how the tide has turned in this industry and people, gamers are rejecting left and right all of this nonsense, these weird ideologies and this activism that's in gaming. People are rejecting it left and right. We're watching game after game fall like dominoes and fail, losing hundreds of millions of dollars for different companies left and right. Studio closures, people getting laid off. I mean, it's a bloodbath out there, and it's a well-deserved bloodbath, to be honest with you. This should never have been a thing in the first place. Anyway, and Borderlands, based off the movie, was terrible from what I heard. I didn't see the movie, but I heard it was absolutely awful. I mean, it was an embarrassment. But that doesn't really coincide with the movie. I know Borderlands is a beloved franchise, but it's very much has the potential to go off the rails and suck eggs. So we're gonna have to see what happens with both of these games. I have zero faith in anything anymore, especially from these larger publishers. Zero faith. I'm finding much solace in the indie scene, and there's a lot of garbage in that too. But every now and then you get this shiny little gem, and then every now and then you get something wild like Black Myth Wukong come out or Stellar Blade. It's like, holy cow, where'd that come from? Some great stuff like that too. But anyway, Wall Street forecast 1.43 billion in net bookings, according to analyst consensus data provided by LSEG, formerly Refinitiv. Take-Two reported 1.47 billion in revenue. Take-Two revealed its most recent quarterly results Wednesday, the day after the presidential race between now President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. When asked about the results and how they could affect future M&A moves on the heels of Microsoft's $75.4 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which was closed during President Joe Biden's tenure within the gaming industry, while speaking with Variety, Zelnick empathized that while Take-Two is an entertainment company, not a politics company, he does believe the change in administration will lead to a more sensible FTC. I believe in a democratic process by all accounts. This was a fair, free, and secure election, Zelnick says. The future is also just that. So, we always have the time together as a nation and as a company. We're an entertainment company, not a politics company. Very smart thing to say there. And please hold true to that. Please hold true to that. If you do that, you're going to sell a crap load of games. I promise you, bro. I promise you. We're focused on our mission. I think that the president-elect has made it very plain that he believes in reducing regulation. I do believe that the FTC was misguided during President Biden's term. And I do think that the FTC tried to impede some transactions that were beneficial for both the companies in question and the economy at large, and the FTC lost all those cases since. So, I do think that depending on what the specific topic is, deregulation can be a positive, and I am certainly looking forward to a more sensible FTC. Yeah, I'm a big fan of deregulation. I hate, absolutely despise big government. The government has gotten so bloated here in the U.S. It's not even funny. The federal government was never intended to be as large as it is, and we really need to trim the fat. That's why things are so expensive here, man. That's why everything's so corrupt. Anytime you get a group of people together, a group of human beings, whether it be in a government, a business, a religion, an HOA, the corruption occurs because it's just the nature of humanity. And the larger the entity, the more corruption there is. It's absolutely awful, Anyway, in regards to the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike against video game publishers, Zelnick says, we take these things very seriously, so I don't want to be cavalier about the situation. We do believe that it's both possible and likely that we can come to terms in a way that will be mutually beneficial to the parties. We certainly have both that hope and expectation. Following a disappointing box office for the Borderlands movie, here we talked about that, based on the popular franchise developed by Gearbox, which was acquired by Take-Two earlier this year, Zelnick says, Take-Two is still interested in future film or TV adaptations of its IP. They probably have to just turn their back on the one that exists and redo the whole thing. Maybe go TV with it. Maybe, as much as I despise a lot of these streaming services, I'm hoping we're going to see some turnaround with them too, and we're going to start to see some change in there because people are rejecting a lot of this crap, and the stuff that's successful is the stuff that's not packed with all of this activist crap. So hopefully we see that. Maybe put Borderlands in a TV series or something like that, and just do that. It doesn't need to be a big budget movie. I have zero faith in Hollywood anymore, and movies have ballooned in their cost to exorbitant numbers that it's almost impossible anymore to recoup what you spend on a movie, because not only do you have the budget of the movie, then you have the marketing budget, and these numbers are in hundreds of millions of dollars for movies with special effects and stuff like that. Like a Borderlands movie is going to cost a lot of money to put together, and it's going to need to make tons of money to recoup that, and it probably isn't going to. And we're watching time and time again, they release these movies and they just fail. Part of it is because a lot of people have turned their back on Hollywood for various reasons. Woke culture, the talk of, Hollywood stars doing bad things with kids. There's a lot of weird things going on in there that people are bothered about and upset about. And ever since COVID hit, I don't think the theaters have ever, streaming services have changed things a lot. I don't think theaters have ever recovered. I don't think the box office has ever recovered. There have been a few monster hits since then, but they're few and far between compared to the way it used to be. We've seen more failures than hits, and it's pretty bad. Anyway, We have selectively licensed intellectual properties. As you know, we have a deal pending on BioShock, for example, Zelnick said. And while Borderlands movie was indeed disappointing, it was good for our catalog sales of Borderland titles. So we would prefer to have a huge hit, as you know. We didn't have a financial exposure to the negative, so we are selective for exactly the reason that you just cannot control these outcomes, and we prefer to control our own destiny. However, we will still license selectively. BioShock. Ho ho ho. BioShock. BioShock would be a cool movie, or a TV series or something like that. That's a great world. That's a great story. That would be a lot of fun to see on either the big screen or the small screen. I'll give him that there. So anyway, yeah, what do you think of Take-Two and the direction they're going there? I mean, do you think we're going to see a shift for real? Or is this just talk, you know? Are we going to see this shift more and more in this industry? Is this industry going to right itself? Is the world going to heal? You know, are we going to start getting good games again? And we're going to turn our back on all this garbage that's been churned out? Especially this year, man. We've had a couple bangers this year, but my God, we've had more turds in this punch bowl than I've ever seen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.